She stood in the doorway when I came home, small and brittle, like a shadow that had learned to breathe. Her bones were visible beneath the thin shirt. Her lips cracked, her eyes dull. "Daddy," she whispered, her voice like paper tearing. "Mom didn't make me any food." The world stopped moving. My suitcase slipped from my hand and landed on the floor with a sound that seemed too loud, too final. I bent to hold her. She flinched at first, then collapsed into me, weightless. The warmth of her body was almost gone, like a candle fighting its last flame. I carried her to the couch, covered her in my coat. My chest was fire, but my face was stone. I couldn't afford chaos, not yet. 6 months away, trusting my wife to care for her. And this ruin of a child? I stood, silent, and walked down the hall. Each step echoed. I opened the bedroom door, and found the truth waiting. The air reeked of perfume, smoke, and something rotten beneath it all. She was sprawled across the bed, laughter still clinging to her mouth. Empty bottles on the nightstand. Her phone glowing with messages she hadn't bothered to hide. I watched her sleep, unaware. A stranger in my house. My daughter starving in the next room, while this woman lived like appetite was endless. I sat in the chair across the room. I let the minutes crawl. Watched her chest rise and fall. Watched her hand twitch as if she were grasping at dreams that weren't mine. My anger was a living thing. It scratched inside me, begging to be unleashed. But rage is sloppy. Rage ruins precision. So I locked it down. Instead, I studied the fragments. The perfume wasn't hers. The shirt tossed over the chair wasn't mine. The text flashing on her phone read, "Tonight again? He's gone, isn't he?" A double betrayal. Neglect and infidelity tangled together, choking everything I had left. My daughter's words repeated in my skull like a curse. "Mom didn't make me any food." I stayed in that chair until dawn. When she finally stirred, I already knew what I would do. The days that followed were a mask. I fed my daughter, bathed her, restored pieces of her life one meal at a time. She clung to me like someone afraid of vanishing. I promised her silently she never would again. With my wife, I was polite. Cold, but polite. She thought it was exhaustion from travel. She didn't notice the way my eyes lingered, the way I watched. At night, when she slept, I searched. Phone records, bank transfers, photographs hidden in folders she thought I would never open. There were names, hotels, transactions that bled with carelessness. Every detail was a stitch in a tapestry of betrayal. The deeper I dug, the calmer I became. Each discovery was no longer a wound, it was a weapon. She smiled at me over dinner, asking about my trip. I smiled back. My daughter sat silent between us, eating slowly, learning again what it meant not to starve. I thought of telling her, of dragging the truth into the light and watching her burn in it. But no, not yet. Patience sharpens revenge. The file was thick when it was finished. Phone logs, photos, financial records, even DNA results. Proof that the man she smiled at wasn't just her lover. He was the father of the child I had been raising as mine. My daughter was starving because she was not his. A punishment by neglect. A mother weaponizing hunger. When I held the report in my hands, there was no shock left. Only clarity. That night I placed it on the kitchen table, sat across from her. She opened it, brows furrowing, mouth parting. Then, silence. Pages turned, hands shook, tears welled. Finally, she looked at me. "You knew?" I nodded once, nothing more. Her sobs filled the room. She reached for me. I didn't move. The next morning, I packed her bags, placed them by the door. When she came downstairs, eyes swollen, she froze. I can explain." "No," I said, calm, final. My daughter stood behind me, clutching my shirt, watching. I handed my wife the folder. "Take it. Leave." Her lips trembled. "Where will I go?" I stared at her. Not my concern. The weight of the evidence pressed against her chest. Every page was a mirror she couldn't escape. When she stepped outside, I closed the door behind her. Slowly, quietly, as if sealing a tomb. I sat with my daughter that evening, feeding her soup. She smiled faintly, color already returning to her face. The house was silent without the poison. Silence I could live with. I thought of the years wasted, of the lies swallowed whole, of the trust shattered beyond repair. But there was no grief left, only steel. Some betrayals break you. Others carve you into something colder, sharper, unrecognizable even to yourself. I kissed my daughter's head and whispered a promise. She would never know hunger again. As for her mother, she was already gone, and I did not miss her.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.